Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike, and this time we're taking a look at the Nerf rival Kronos Blaster. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. So here we have my very first Nerf rival blaster, the Kronos. I really like the design of this blaster, and I ordered this for one reason and one reason only. I ordered this because a few weeks ago for my birthday, I received the Nerf Halo MA40 blaster, and I wanted a sidearm to complement it. And I happened to have a old Boomco Halo M6, and I broke it trying to repaint it. So I began looking for a replacement, and even the used ones that I saw on eBay were ridiculous in cost. So I began looking at Nerf guns to try to see if there's anything that they produce that looks similar to an M6 Magnum or something that I could mod. As I continued to do a Google search, I came across this gun, and I saw where different individuals had modded it with a handguard and repainted it to look like a long slide version of the Miss Ryan Armory M6 Magnum. And I thought, there you go. That's going to be my blaster. So I found this one on Amazon for $21.99. It is an Amazon exclusive with the blue color, and I ordered it. It arrived today, and I have to say I'm extremely impressed with the way this thing looks. I can't wait to get it out of the box. So for those of you who are into Nerf, you probably know everything about this blaster, and I know nothing about it other than a little bit of research that I've done. Because I don't intend to use it as a Nerf blaster. I intend to use it as a cosplay prop. That being said, I do not plan to alter the internals. I do plan to repaint it, but I plan to leave the internals as they are so that it can still be a functional Nerf blaster. So here on the box, you can see that the Nerf rival blasters utilize a 23mm dimple foam ball versus traditional Nerf blasters which use a foam dart. It's my understanding that the rival blasters have a much higher velocity than the standard foam blasters by Nerf. This particular blaster shoots at 90 feet per second. That foam ball is 23mm in diameter, or 9/10 of an inch. I don't know what the weight of the ball is. I haven't seen that online, and I haven't taken the opportunity to weigh them yet. You can see some of the features of this blaster. It has an integrated pick rail on the top of the slide. That orange section in the middle of the slide is actually the breech where you load the balls. It does have a fixed front and rear iron sight. The black section just above the rival logo is actually an integrated section attached to the rear of the slide to assist you with cocking of the blaster. At the base of the grip of the blaster, you've got an integral loop for a lanyard to attach to if you so choose to use that. And, you know, looking at the overall design of it, it does look like a long slide version of the M6 Magnum without the handguard. And there are individuals out there on Etsy who offer 3D printed handguards to attach to this. And it doesn't look exactly like an M6 Magnum, but I think the overall aesthetic, once it's repainted, is going to work for what I want it to do. On the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shots and some of the features of the blaster, as well as a blue team versus red team that they have going on with Nerf Rival. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what it's all about. You got your obligatory product sheet, operation, features, and things like that. A bag with the individual foam balls in it, and they aren't extremely dense. They probably weigh just a few grams each. There is the actual blaster itself, and it is really large. This is almost Spartan size for a handgun. And I really do like this. I do. think this is really neat. And one of the things that I can see immediately is that I'm not going to be able to sand down the logos because they are recessed into the slide and into this lower section. I could sand this down, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And you can see here on the top of the slide, it's got these two added sections that flare out for you to grab to make cocking the gun easier. You got your trigger, you've got a manual safety, which you can easily operate with your thumb, and really nice size grip compared to other Nerf blasters. There's your breech and your integral pick rail. And there's the right side of the blaster. Let's talk about the dimensions of this blaster because it is a really large sidearm. It is approximately 12 inches in length from the end of the muzzle to the back of the slide. It's 7.5 inches tall from the base of the grip to the top of the rear sight, and it is approximately 4 inches tall from the base of the lower part of the gun to the top of the front sight. All right, let's talk about the operation of the blaster. First thing I want to point out is the trigger lock or safety. In the up position, it allows the trigger to be depressed where it will fire the blaster. Press it down, it locks the trigger where it cannot be fired. On the back of the slide on each side, you have these serrated cutouts that are flared out like this, and they are there to give you positive grip and retention on the slide so that you can pull it to the rear in order to load the blaster as well as to prime it to fire. So the way that you go about doing that is you grab the slide either like this or here and pull it all the way to the rear. Open up your loading port here and you can see that there's already Nerf balls in there. You just take them, push them down like this between the feed lips into the magazine. The internal magazine will hold 5 rounds, and then you're going to close your loading port. You're going to take your blaster, press your slide all the way forward like that. Once you do that, you see this orange indicator. That means the weapon is primed and ready to fire. Now, this is the decocker, and what this does when you have a jam, you can depress this down and it will override the slide and allow you to pull it back to the rear and open up the loading port so you can clear any jammed balls and press it back forward like that, and the blaster is ready to fire. Okay, so now we're going to do an outdoor test with the Nerf Rival Kronos. We're going to fire a couple of rounds to see what the maximum effective range of the blaster is. Now, last night I took it outdoors and fired 1 round, and it shot about 65 feet, and I think that's pretty decent for this blaster, so let's see what it'll do. Okay, so I fired 4 rounds out of the Nerf Rival Kronos, and they averaged between 58 and 65 feet in distance, which again is pretty good for this little spring-powered Nerf blaster. Overall, I think it's a really cool blaster. You know, I do like the design and the features of it. I also like the fact that they redesigned the projectiles to be round balls instead of the actual Nerf dart. The difference with using these round projectiles over the Nerf dart is that they encounter much greater air resistance than the Nerf darts do. So they're not going to shoot as far, I don't think. If you don't have one of these in your collection, I recommend go out and pick one up. They're only $22. And I think it is a really cool blaster to have just to play with. And we're going to begin work on it, repainting it, customizing it, making a holster for it, and turning it into a long slide M6 Magnum for use for Halo cosplay. Guys, there you have the Nerf rival Kronos blaster.